Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Sun the Boss. I play Sun in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Live action series Yu-Gi-Oh! Dimension X, and I'm actually here to answer a couple of you guys' questions for a Q&A. My co-host, Zehos, will probably be doing his as well. His probably will come out first than mine. I don't know, it depends on when he wants to upload it, who's he uploading first, but I guess we'll find out when it happens. And I'll try to answer as many questions that I'm capable of answering. Some questions I might not, have the information to tell you. But with that being said, let's get started with the questions. Okay, our first question is from Passing Through Duelist. His question is, when and how did you start playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Okay, all right. Time to go trip down memory lane. When it came out when I was a kid, well, it came out in 2000, so I was a couple years old, right? I saw it in commercials a few times. This was when I was watching. It was on Kids WB. Yeah, I think it's Kids WB. Hopefully, I'm not misremembering it. But I saw a few commercials for it. I thought it was a strange show. I remember the first thing I saw was Yugi's hair. I'm like, why is his hair like that? What's wrong with his hair? Yeah, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it until one day I had to go to the doctor's, right? For a checkup, I guess, who knows? And the TV was on, and Lord and behold, they were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like, oh, I remember this show. I saw that commercial. And the first episode that I saw that they were showing, I believe it was the Mako episode. Mako Tsunami. Yugi was dueling him. Honestly, it's weird. Like, the main reason I fell in love with the show was when little Yugi transformed into Yami Yugi, and the music and the scenery and everything. I thought it was so cool. I'm like, oh my god, Yugi grew up. I'm thinking, they're not the same person at the time, right? So I thought little Yugi became, oh my god, Yami Yugi, oh my god, he's an adult, oh my god. And then, I watched the show and I saw, how they playing monsters, magic and traps. I'm like, oh, this game is so cool. Oh my god, I got it. So then after that, I was pretty much hooked. I watched every episode from episode 1, the famous Exodia Obliterate, until I think at the time that the latest episode that we're at was when Yugi beat Weevil. Oh man. We look at it now. Oh yeah, Yugi cheating. You can't play polymerization on your opponent's turn. Great Moth has some poisoning effect. Yeah, it was wacky, sure, yeah. But remembering those times was just like, I still love Duelist Kingdom. I love this so much. Like, I don't care what anyone says that Yugi's cheating. There are no rules. Things were different for the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, so you can't really give it too much flack. But yeah, ever since I have been a fan, and will remain a fan for the foreseeable future. Okay, the next question is from Dimension Duelist 4149. His question is, if you could have one anime or manga exclusive deck, which would they be? Well, that's a hard one because there's been a few that were, anime or manga exclusive, but later on it came out in the TCG. Oh, I know. I don't know if you guys remember, maybe some of you GX stands, but there was an episode, it was a fillery episode in the Soul Society arc. There was a guy that loved Alexis, and he tried to write her a poem or something, and then Jaden got in trouble, so they had to do a duel for whatever reason. And yeah, I think his deck was a game show deck. I think that's what it's called. His monsters were like Obelisk 10, Obelisk 20, Slifer Red 10, Raw 20. It was wacky. Basically, its effects were flip effect monsters that when they were flip face up, your opponent will have to do a challenge. Like, they have to do 20 push-ups. They have to see how long they could breathe underwater. They had to answer certain questions from Yu-Gi-Oh lore. That episode was so wacky. One of the filler episodes that I really liked from GX, I don't know, it was so it was dumb, but it was just so wacky, and just, I don't know, I just loved it. And his deck was so random that can you imagine playing that in today's day and age? I don't know, like, obviously it wouldn't work, but you could try. But yeah, I think that would be my pick. Okay, next question is from Blue Eyes Bob. His question is, what inspired you into making a Yu-Gi-Oh fan series in the first place? Okay, so this would have to be for my co-host Zehos. This was all his idea. I showed him one of the first live actions ever made. Maybe the first one ever made, I don't know. But I don't remember the name of it, but it was one of the older ones back in YouTube, back in the old YouTube days. I thought it was so cool, the effects and everything. Oh my god, Yu-Gi-Oh! Real life. Why can't we have dual this? Why don't we have holograms? And I honestly do not remember the story for the life of me because this was years ago. But I remember showing that to him, and then he told me about it like, a year before we actually started making a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dimension X. He came to me like, "Hey, do you want to make a Yu-Gi-Oh! Live action series?" And I'm like, "What? Where'd this come from?" Like, it was so random because like, I love the Yu-Gi-Oh! Live action that I saw, but it never popped in my head to actually make one. I never even thought about it. So he gave me some ideas. We started brainstorming like characters, plots, plot lines, stuff like that, decks. And I thought, you know what? Why not? Let's see where this takes us. And now we're a year and a half. I don't remember how long we started, but yeah. I told you guys that we started planning this a year before we actually made the live action. If I didn't say that yet, that was the case. I kind of regret that we didn't start earlier. That way we would have more episodes out by now. But it is what it is. We started when we started. But yeah, it was his idea, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. And honestly, I have a lot of fun doing them, making the decks, making, scripting the duels. Thinking of character plot lines for the near future. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah, that would be my answer. Next question is from Flare Dragoon B3U. His question is, will you ever add an XYZ deck for like a main character? Not like Sun or Jose. I mean like a character that keeps appearing. Well, to start things off, will we have XYZ decks in the future? Of course, that was always the plan when we first started making the series. As far as like for like an ongoing character, it's possible. We actually have a character, Arden. Well, he's not an XYZ player, he's a synchro player, but he's someone outside of the main cast that's getting more of a focus. He's not just some one-time villain that, oh well, now you're dead, so goodbye. His character starting to progress a little bit. But will we ever do that with an XYZ player? I don't know. Maybe. It just really depends. Like when we have the XYZ players actually show up, will he be a one-off villain, or will he be like a reoccurring character with his own, dreams, motivations? Maybe. I guess we'll see. But for now, we just haven't thought that far ahead. But yeah. Okay, next question is from Kenny Arkin Pony 97. His question is, when did you first make your first live action Yu-Gi-Oh, and is it hard to make one, and how long for an episode to make? Okay, it's kind of similar to the question I answered a little while ago. Our first live action is Yu-Gi-Oh! Dimension X. It's gonna stay that way because we're nowhere near done. In fact, we're kind of just getting started, Is it hard to make one? If you want it to be good quality, I'd say so. Like with effects, you have to take time out of your days to actually go and record. If you're doing live action, obviously. You have to buy the cards, for the decks if you don't already have them. You have to have the dual discs. You have to find areas that you can actually record that will like, this will be a nice scene for this character. Let's go here. Acting, that's more of a practice until you make it perfect. Yeah, you just gotta keep on practicing your acting. I don't know exactly how I can answer that. It's not really you have it or you don't. It's just something you practice. How long does it take? Well, for us, I don't know about for everyone else. Any other people that make live actions, theirs might take longer, theirs might be shorter. For us, around 2 to 3 months it takes us, assuming the weather's good. We don't have other endeavors, work and life stuff. We could just focus on just making the Yu-Gi-Oh live actions by itself without having to worry about anything else. That would be ideal, but unfortunately, as is life, that's not it's not the case. But yeah, it's really all about dedication. You gotta be in it to win it. Stay. Well, if you can, do like it's kind of like you could consider a hobby. You can't really half-ass it because eventually, if you don't have passion for it, it's either not gonna turn out good or you're just not gonna want to do it at all. So yeah, for any of you guys that are planning to make your own live action, if you have the passion for it, I'd say go for it. What's stopping you? Okay, next question is from Kenny. Oh no, actually. Okay, so Kenny Arkin Pony 97 also has another question, so I'll just answer it since already did his other question. What is your favorite monster and boss monster in each summon mechanic, and which monsters that are annoying or hated to deal with? Which monsters that are annoying and who do you hate to deal with? My favorite monster and boss monster in each summon mechanic. That's okay. That's a little tough. I guess for fusions, it will have to be Absolute Zero. Oh yeah, I know, right? Shocker. Son likes Absolute Zero. I have a lot of nostalgia for Absolute Zero. He was one of the best fusions I actually had when I started using heroes, which was when GX first came out. When he had, Avion, Percentatrix, Flame Wingman. I thought the whole deck was so cool. Like, oh my god, I should make that deck. Mind you, the thing is the heroes were pretty bad in the beginning. I'll admit that. I still use them for fun, but they were bad. My best monster was Elemental Hero Mariner. Yeah, let that sink in. Mariner. My best card. 1400 attack, by the way. Fusion. But yeah, eventually, when Zero came out, I'm like, yo, this card is so good. I can make a deck, just focusing on that. And also, the Hero Zero deck I made, that's the deck I actually used to go to tournaments. So, with my friends, so I have a lot of nostalgia. That's probably the most summoned monster I've ever summoned. As far as extra deck cards, it would be Absolute Zero for sure. I even use them now, even with my modern hero decks. There's a Zero in there. There's a Zero there. Are there other hero cards that are better? Yeah, sure. Like Dark Law, yeah, But I'll always use Zero. It's still a good card, relative. Was better back in the day, but, it got power card. As far as synchros, probably Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. The card was really strong. Great effect. It was just very versatile. And depending on what kind of deck you're using it based off of, it can be really hard to get off the field. XCs, it would probably be Zeus. I know he has a full larger name. I don't remember it for the life of me, so we're gonna call him Zeus. Really good effect. All you have to do is attack with a XYZ monster, then you can just summon it for free. You detach two, quick effect, blow everything up. Very good card. So I would use that in any of my XCs decks that I would use. Pendulum, I didn't really use pendulums like that, so I can't really say, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't really use pendulum, so I don't know. Link monster, I don't know, probably, I guess, the extra hero Link monsters are the ones I mainly use. They're not as flashy as the fusions. The fusions hold a more special place in my heart, so yeah, Links, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it compared to synchros, XCs, or fusions. But if I would have to say, probably extra hero forgot what it's called. Crusade. I don't remember. It's basically when you summon it, you get 2 fusion material monsters from your deck to your hand. I don't remember the name. Yeah, so that will probably be my favorite. Okay, this next question is from Georgie8449. Question for Champion Sun. Ooh, that's me. Do you prefer Elemental or Destiny Heroes? And which is your favorite monster from both? Shocker, maybe not. It would be Elemental Heroes. They were the first ones I used. So, you know, Elemental Heroes. I just love Fusion in general, so that's gonna be my pick. As for my favorite monster from both, I kind of answered it already. That would be Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. Basically for all the things I listed before. One of my first best fusions I had. One of the main ones I've used that I've summoned throughout my entire life. I still use it to this day. Yeah, but you already know. And for Destiny Heroes, hot take, but I think my favorite Destiny Hero would be Destiny Hero Diamond Dude. Why is my favorite? Because he's not really a boss monster. It's because of its effect of, you know, milling the top card of your deck to the grave. If it's a spell, you can activate on your next turn. Thing is, with that effect, you only activate the effect of the card in the graveyard, not the whole thing, so you don't have to pay any costs. So you can get really wild and crazy with your Diamond Dude deck. So you could put in Final Destiny, discard 5 cards, destroy all cards in the field. And if you use it with Diamond Dude, it just destroys all cards in the field. You don't have to pay no cost. Destiny Draw, you don't have to discard. Pot of Greed's not really a cost, but you know, it's free Pot of Greed. You can just get really crazy with the plays with Diamond Dude, and it's just like, once you get like a spell, when you get the effect off and it's a normal spell, you just feel like Yami, Yugi, or Jaden, that you just top decked the card you needed. It just feels so, you just feel satisfied, you know? So it would have to be Diamond Dude. Okay, last question would be from 555 Gaming and Productions. Well, I always ask this type of question for most Q&As. What is your favorite game series or favorite video game in general? Okay, it's not really about Yu-Gi-Oh, but you know, I can answer that. My favorite game series is The Legend of Zelda. It has been my favorite series since I was maybe like 8. It will probably always remain my favorite series. Nothing will ever beat it. Nothing has beaten it, and I've played hundreds of thousands of games. And, you know, nothing has topped it. As far as like my favorite game in general would probably be between The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Those two remain my favorite to this day. Probably why Nintendo 64 is probably my favorite console of all time, or at least top 3. I can't really think of them on the top of my head. Yeah. For Ocarina of Time, I actually didn't own the copies from back when I was a kid. My friends lent it to me. So I never actually owned it until like years later. I'm like, yo, am I a casual for not actually owning The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time? Like, I'm pathetic. I'm a casual. I have to buy it. And I didn't just buy the regular version. I bought the first version 1.0 gold cartridge of Ocarina of Time, which I never had, by the way. Don't ask me how much it was for a Nintendo 64 game. I was like, you know what? I'm a mega fan. I will pay out much I need to buy this game, gold cartridge. So no regrets. And as for my Majora's Mask, I actually still have mine to this day from when I bought it in 2000. So yeah, that's what, 26 years ago. Oh my god, man. I feel so old. Yeah, I still own my copy. Let me see if I can get it for you guys. Okay, just had to get it off my Nintendo 64. Alright, here it is. My Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Oh, it's so sick, right? Holographic gold cartridge. Like I said, I had this for 26 years. I will never sell it. I will never trade it in. I will never lose it. It was in my Nintendo 64. It's gonna stay there. And whenever I decide to play it, I think this is my most prized possession that I own to this day. You know, it's just, I have so many memories. I still play this game, maybe not every day now, because you know, I don't play on my 64 because it's a hassle. Take it out on my 64, connect it to my TV, you know, with the back quality with the cables, because I play it on my PC, 4K, 60 frames per second. So I just play on my PC usually all the time. I play randomizers. It's very fun. But yeah, so this and Ocarina of Time would be my favorite games of all time. All right, guys, and that's gonna wrap up for the Q&A. Actually, I had a lot of fun doing this, kind of reminiscing through my childhood. You know, when I first got into Yu-Gi-Oh, my games and all that stuff. So it feels nice to share. But yeah, I believe we're gonna be doing Q&As every year. I think that's what Zeho said. Don't quote me on that. I think he said after every New Year's, so I guess once a year. So yeah, you know, I guess I'll see you next time. Maybe next year, whenever we decide to do this. Yeah, just send us your questions. We'd love to answer them, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.